Hello. Welcome, Nimfam, to the Locked In stream. I hope you guys are well and that you've had, well, a bit of a break and it was a happy new year for you. I obviously had the disaster that was my wildcard, so yeah, not great. Look, any other week, 74-pointer, happy days. But Muggins here left a lot of points on the bench in Palmer and Estupinan. You know, when we did the stream, I was literally saying to you guys that I don't know who to bench. Like, I literally don't know who to bench out of this midfield. In the end, looking at it, Captain Hindsight, Solanke or Bowen would have been the ones to bench. But hey, it's happened now. Bit gutted because it did drop me, probably pretty much did double my rank. So yeah, it was like roughly 40k, 39k, and it slid all the way to 39k. But keeping Salah on that wild card was probably my kind of stroke of genius in a way. I knew I'd likely have to potentially sell him in the next week or two, potentially for a hit. But keeping him and captaining him pretty much helped the deficit a little bit, as did Foden's 2 assists. So yeah, helped a little bit, although I am a bit kind of, why did I bother with Martinez? Because literally he's costing me more money for the same amount of terrible points, and I had Dubravka sat on my bench with 8 points. I mean, I was never going to play Dubravka, but ouch, you know. It's a lot of points left on the bench. How are we all today? Let's check in with the chat. Say hello. Lewis, welcome, buddy. How Edison or Areola? Really want to start Areola, but Edison expensive and City are better defence. Don't worry about that. Go with your gut. If you really want to start Areola, then go for it. Go for it. Start one Porro or Walker. I think if you're going to go Areola, then start Walker so that you have that City defence covered. Like me, you're probably in a situation where I was, before Trent went and got injured, I was in the situation where I was considering whether to play Trent or Porro. I think Man United struggled to score. It's the Porro attack that always helps, isn't it? Always helps. He's quite an attacking player, so it's always good. Hang on a second, sorry about that. I don't think... Oh no, Nige can join us, maybe next time. Oh, thank you so much, Lewis. That I really appreciate that. Yes, cold, very cold. Hi, Lee. JD? Jota, question mark. Yes, really like that pick. Like it. The only thing with Jota... Sorry, got my cup of tea. The only thing with Jota is that he's made of glass, isn't he? You do wonder how many weeks you'll get out of him before he'll break again. That's the only problem. Exciting game week ahead, I agree. Neil, anyone know why everyone hating Zinchenko right now? I think it's because they bought him. He didn't start, if I remember correctly, and then didn't do very much the next match. So I think people are a bit like, And he's rotation risk as well, a little bit. Faisal, there is no Haaland. Do not captain Haaland. If you've got Haaland, I'm not actually sure what you do with him right now. I guess you sell him. Do you sell him? He could be back next game week. I'll get on to the presses now in just a second. But there is no Haaland this week. Pep has confirmed that Haaland is out. So, Lewis is with me. He's got his popcorn and his drink. Oh, My captain started this season at 5 million, has dropped to 4.9. Who are you captaining, Lee? Who's that? 4.9. I would have said like Nacho or Louise, but they're only going up in price, not down in price. Interesting, interesting. Hey, Panther. Thoughts on Tony? Okay, so I really liked the Tony punt. I did a budget players video at the beginning of the week. The only thing is we haven't, I don't think, I will check the presses now in a second, but we haven't heard much about Tony actually starting yet. And that would be my only concern, is that we've had no real, he's definitely in the squad this week. I don't know what the situation is with him. Are they going to try sell him? Do they want to keep him? What is obviously Brentford really need a goal scorer. They really need somebody to score goals for them, but also the amount of money they could probably get for Tony in this transfer window, it's a tough one. This is always the problem for the smaller clubs. Always the problem for the smaller clubs with their star and key players. But I think if you have cover, then I think it's fine to get Tony in. Hello, Nim. Hello, fam. Like that. Captain Hindsight. Absolutely. Bowen train crash, like I said. Yeah. Ugh. Not so great. Flem, Areola, Porro, Saliba, Estupinan, Foden, Palmer. Foden captain. Saka, I haven't decided on my captain yet. It's on Palmer at the moment, but I'm wavering. Solanke, Watkins, Jehl, Pedro. What do you think? I like it very much. Anyone who's watched both my budget players video and my best wildcard short will know that my dyslexic brain, so I found out I was dyslexic when I was at uni, so I managed to get through the whole of school without it coming up or without any help, and I managed to get myself all the way to uni, and then within the first week they found that something wasn't quite right, and they had me do a load of tests, and they found out that I had dyslexia. And it's funny because when I'm recording videos, 9 times out of 10 I catch the mistakes, but twice this week, I don't know whether it was all the busyness with Christmas and New Year's or whatever, but twice this week I made exactly the same mistake in 2 different videos. You guys will probably have noticed. The first is that in the budget videos I called Jehl Pedro Porro, and then I went on to do exactly the same thing in the short. And it's funny because I just call them Pedro. I just shorten it to Pedro, both of them. But it's obvious that my brain has, because it's filled in a section, has just gone, say Porro. And I've just said Porro straight after when I meant Jehl Pedro. So if you spotted that, eagle-eyed amongst you, apologies. It is just a little brain defect, and sometimes it does funny things like this. And that's why this channel is a little different to everything else, because you will always get something a little bit different with me. Sometimes you won't even know what you'll get. The main thing is that you guys know who I mean. Martin, hi Nim, do you prefer Pedro Neto, or another Pedro? I got this one right this time. Or Luis Diaz? I think Diaz. Yeah, I like. Will the extra cash? Ooh, captaining Ross Barkley. Wowzers, love it. Love it. We'll go over to some presses in a second, so I'll just bring that screen up for you guys so you're not sick of looking at my team. Will the extra cash, if you go to Neto, help with other things like getting a Haaland in or getting Salah back or whatever. Because if it would, then I would go Neto. But if you're just absolutely lavishing in money everywhere at the moment, then yeah, go for it. Lee, after starting 5 and dropped to 4.9, he rose 5.7. Guess my captain. You'll get me to guess your captains today. 5.7. Is it Gross? Is it Pascal Gross? Primer, what are your thoughts on Garnacho? I'm actually considering getting Nacho in myself this week. So I rate highly. I could get I could go a Gross or a Louise. Gross is going to mean that I'm going to need more changes. So with me going Salah to Nacho, I'll show you guys in a minute. With me going Salah to Nacho, it means that I can just simply downgrade Trent when I'm ready, and then move Bowen or Saka up to Salah in 2 straight swaps. However, if I go any higher than Nacho while selling Salah, I think I might get away with a Douglas Luiz, but that's about as high as I can go. A Gross is pushing it. It means I will need 3 transfers, probably, I think. Am I the only one who's not quite convinced by Gross? Like, I feel like the community's gone mad on him, and I get it. I put him in my videos and I think he's an interesting pick, but I don't feel settled on it. I would like a bit more kind of a feeling for it. Like, weirdly, even though United are doing terrible, just kind of, I don't know, I think I kind of prefer Nacho. Do I prefer Nacho? What do you guys think? Let me know on the Gross Nacho situation. Where are you feeling on all of that? Like, do you feel one's better than the other? Cool. Okay. Don't know why I'm just looking at any information coming in for you guys. Right. Let's take a look. I'll come back to the chat. Keep those questions coming in. In fact, but before I do veer away, I'll just start a poll. Are you convinced by Gross? I have to put it like that because I cannot be asked to find the right. Right, okay, what have we got? Let's take a quick scroll down. Quick scrolly down. What information do we have? Start at the beginning of the day, although I think I've given you guys all the major news on Haaland. Tendon issue for Joe Linton, around 6 weeks out. Ooh, that's a bit of a blow. He's been so good for them recently. We will see him miss a minimum of 6 weeks. It is a real blow. Yeah, he has actually stepped up when some other players haven't. So that's going to be an ouch for them. A similar squad. No one's Wilson, Murthy closest to return, and those currently sidelined. So it's going to be Isak up top again for Newcastle by the looks of things. We've jumped. We've jumped away actually. Eddie Howe on Slanky. I love Slanky. Yeah, he would have liked to re-sign him, but he's weirdly says they don't have the ability to sign a player of that level. I mean, Slanky's a good level, and you'd think with all the money that Newcastle have pumped into it that they'd be able to have the ability to sign that kind of player. No? Oh, a second hat trick behind closed doors. Gameweek 21. Ivan Toney. Ooh. Interesting. Will he throw him straight back in though? But I mean, clearly if he's throwing hat tricks about in like under 21s and behind closed doors and stuff, you'd think he'd be back for that, wouldn't you? Weeks before Martinez and Casemiro could be in contention. Oof. Mason Mount will take a little longer, but Malacia, Victor Lindelof are on their way back. Could get them at time to match fitness. Ben Chilwell and Badiashile will be involved against Fulham on Saturday. Interesting. What does that mean for... Oh, sorry. What does that mean for... So interestingly, Gusto isn't on this list. I've got Gusto, so that's interesting. I don't know what that... Davies could be signed up for around a month. Romero rejoined the group in training. Still no mention of Maddison. He was meant to be back around now, wasn't he? Wow, I think that's like the clearest we've ever seen from Pep, right? Erling is out. Look at that, mad. This is where he says he's out and then he plays 90 minutes, isn't it? We've all been pepped again. He's just sat there like, ha. Young is back in the grass. Coleman is back involved. Yeah, McNeil is not quite ready yet. Not sure anyone needs any Fulham news. Yeah, still no Maddison update, which is surprising. That's kind of it, guys. I'm just looking to see if anything else of any real kind of news. But I think the main news for most of us is that Haaland is out. He's out. He's been confirmed out by Pep, and yeah. Wow, quite a lot of you. 74%. How many of you voted? Wow, quite a lot of you have voted that you're convinced by Gross. That's interesting. He's been very big bandwagon pick. Yeah, Phoenix, the new Spurs players should be interesting. I was considering whether I should move Bowen to Richarlison, but then I'd love to see how Richarlison's now going to get on with Werner and how that situation works out. Or whether indeed I'd prefer Werner, but I mean, we've been there before. It didn't end well. 10k rank, I got Luis Diaz, him not being great, but I got to trust on him. Hope he starts doing some real damage. I think this could be his time with Salah away. Lovely. I wildcarded and we'll bring Haaland and Salah. You mean leave the money in the bank for them? Ah, it's Bailey. Wow. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's part of the package on this channel. It's definitely unique. Hey, Ali. Okay, cool. You don't need the cash. Cool. Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks, Panther. That I really appreciate that. Hey, Chaz. Same captain as you. Yeah, I think I'm sticking with Palmer. I mean, he hurt me so much last week. I feel like it's kind of like he owes me. He owes me. I mean, there's my boy Saka, obviously. Palace, nice game. We're at home. But I don't know what it is about Arsenal at the moment. We have... I mean, it could go one of two ways. Of course it could. But it could go one of two ways. It could be that this is the catalyst of the turnaround moment and we go bonkers. Or it literally could be more of the same. And that's why I'm not fully sure. Foden has been good to me. With Haaland out, I think Foden's more nailed. That makes me a little more confident about potentially putting the captaincy on Foden. Let's ask you guys who you are captaining this week. Oops. Where's that gone? Where's my chat gone? It's just completely disappeared. Hang on a second, guys. For some reason my chat disappeared. Yeah, let me just check it out again. Cool. I don't know if that'll pick it back up again. Let me just... would love you guys to do me a massive favour. There's 30 plus of you watching right now. If you're new to the channel, if you could pop a subscribe, that would be absolutely amazing. You'd really be helping me out. Okay, where are we now actually? I think we're trying to get to 7.1k. So we are 19 away. 19 away from 7,100 subs, so that would be amazing if you guys could chuck a sub if you're appreciating. We'll get back to the questions and such in a sec, so bear with. I'll tell you guys what's going on in just a second. So, all being well, my nonna, my nan, is on her way down from London today, hopefully, and it is her 90th birthday on Sunday. So, we are like planning a little shindig for her. So, bear with me in the content for the next like few days / into next week, because I have no idea what and when I'm going to be able to do it for you guys, because my mum's birthday is then 2 days later. So it's a bit bonkers. Yeah, so yeah, I'm just getting messages from my mum saying, you know, we're here, we're there on the motorway, and keeping me informed on how far away they are and stuff. So who are you captaining this week? Let's go Foden. Palmer. Who do we think is the other big? Is there another? Saka, probably Saka, and then other. And if it's other, let me know who the other is. I know a couple of you guys already have, but yeah. Problem with Foden as captain, the points tend to, yeah, that is the issue with the City team, isn't it? It does get shared around quite a lot, the points. Lewis is going Saka captain, Marcus Konza to Stupinan worth a -4. Konza's not injured, is he? You know, it's the thing is with Villa is that this is the reason why I got Martinez, is just look at the sea of fixtures for Villa coming up. Like Everton, yeah, okay, they're a bit better recently. Scratch Newcastle, but then United, I guess, depending on Tony. Sheffield, sorry, and then United, who have obviously been a bit. Forest, Luton, I mean, Wolves, I don't know, you'd like to think there's got to be some. But then a Stupinan, attacking threat. I don't think it's worth the -4, Marcus, honestly, unless it's a situation where you're struggling on who to play and who to bench. If that's the case, then go for it. If you're going to get a Stupinan in, you're going to be able to play him, and he's going to fulfill the -4 over a couple of weeks, then go for it. Otherwise, maybe you just wait until next game week. Oh, thanks, Martin. Welcome, Phoenix. Welcome to Diamond Members Club. I'm going to look at all my memberships. I am going to reevaluate them and see what I can bring to you guys a bit more on staff. So, thank you for that. Really appreciate it. We are Saka 40%. Wow, that's more than I thought. Interesting. Am I behind here with the Saka situation? Should I be captaining my boy? Wow, well done, Martin. That's awesome. Yeah, I do have a little bit of the kind of what ifs going on with the whole, if only I'd played Palmer last week, where would I be now? I mean, surely I'd be lavishing around top 10k, 9k now. Ouch. That was tough. And it was like, it had to be around like New Year's and stuff as well, didn't it? Like, that's exactly when you don't want it to like hit you. I guess Palace are poopy. You're the Palace fan, Mig. Gonna go with you on that one. Captain Bernardo Silva fail. Right, guys, so here's my thoughts on my transfer this week. I can do Salah to... This was my original plan, right? I was going to do Salah to Nacho. And then I was going to put Nacho on the bench. And then if Bowen didn't play, then Nacho would go in for him, right? So it's a nice cover. I do have Gusto at the moment on the bench. And there was a lot of reports that he was injured, but Ben's not got anything on his site. And I did see a quote earlier on in the week saying that he was only taken off precautionarily. So I think he might be okay. It's just that Chelsea have been a bit rubbish in defence, haven't they? Augusto did get 8 against Palace. I was kind of hoping to see a bit more against Luton before throwing him in against Fulham. So I could do that. That's an option. I could, of course, just have Gusto on the bench and roll my transfer, which I think at the moment I may prefer to do. Because I need the Bowen news and I need Haaland news. because I can get back to Haaland. Can you guys see this? Yeah, just about. Let me pull it up a little bit. That's better. So I can get back to Haaland by going via Bowen. So I'd put Bowen in. So this is the other option. I could move Bowen to Nacho instead of Salah, which would leave me 5.4 in the bank. I think I'd quite like Doherty at the moment, just off the... I mean, I may not by the time this comes around. So where would that get me? That would get me... It would get me Douglas Luiz back. At the moment, it's directly enough for Chan, who I would love, but I obviously need him to come back first. It's not going to get me to gross. But this could then be done for a -4 if we heard, say, Trent was out a bit longer. I think I still prefer Nacho in that kind of cheap. I don't know why, it's just kind of a bit of a gut feeling. I mean, my boy Douglas Luiz was pretty good to me when I had him. He was pretty good to me while I had him. I got a couple of assists out of him. So, you know, I don't want to, like, write him off. But I feel like everything, when I'm watching United at the moment, is going through Garnacho. And he just looks so dangerous. I feel like he was fairly unlucky not to have kind of got anything in the cup. Like 2 goals against Villa and assist against Forest. Spurs is going to be tough up next, but then, you know, Wolves, who knows, they played Villa again, which he got 2 goals. Okay, granted, Villa will be at home this time, but then Luton and then Fulham. I don't know. I think, like, when I'm looking at the 2 next to each other for the same amount of money, like for cheaper amount of money, Nacho feels slightly better. It feels like an easier way back to Salah. However, my other option, of course, is to just bench Salah and sell Bowen to as I say, a 5.7 or less, or anybody for that matter, since we don't know how long Haaland's going to be out for now. I mean, granted, he technically gets, 2 weeks rest now, kind of, once, like, another 2 weeks to recover, I should say. If City are playing now, then they won't play next weekend, because Gameweek 22 goes on. Oh, we do have a Wednesday oh, that's on the 31st though. Yeah, so it's this weekend, and then yeah, so there'll be no City, so Haaland will have another 2 weeks. If we knew he was out for like another month, it'd be loads easier, because I would just switch Bowen potentially to anybody I want. But at the moment, I'm still trying to factor in getting Haaland back, which is an absolute pain in the touchy. Literally. I think it's going to be Nacho in. It's just whether do I get him this week for Salah, or do I get him for Bowen? I mean, Bowen could be back next week, people are saying. So I wonder if I should just roll with this. Have El Gusto on Labencio. Get another transfer in the bank, and then have a look at where the situation is next game week, innit? Feels like the kind of potentially best option. Saka, I was going to say, is clear winner for Captaincy, but not clear. 41%, Palmer 37%. Other is split, and Foden is 7%. So... Cool. Let's see who you guys are. What you're saying. Where did I have your last? There we go. Max. Double game week 25, Man City and Brentford confirmed. Ooh. Well, that makes Tony more interesting. For anyone who was considering him. That is interesting. I wonder if we can, if Foden can keep his place till then for me. That'd be nice. That'd be very nice. Other than that, I'm not really sure there's anyone else who's really kind of like, is really calling me from Brentford at the moment. I guess it depends on him, whether Mbemo's back or not, right? Oh, thanks, Phoenix. Yeah, it was tough. Hey, Jermaine, welcome. 186, even just reach. Whoa, that's awesome. Rank in the US is 453. Well done, Lewis. Ivan from Texas. From Texas? Hi, buddy. I believe you can as well, Lewis. Haaland is out per press. Yeah, no Haaland this week. Doherty or Lise, the main reason I did well last month. Doherty has just been ticking away nicely, hasn't he? He's really, yeah, like I think I said in my video that we went for the wrong player, like when we all went for Gabore, but I guess Doherty wasn't even on the wasn't even on the radar at the time. Not on the radar. So Martin has a midfield of Diaz, Barkley, Hinchelwood, Palmer and Richarlison. Differential City. Like it. Gusto start. If it's confirmed next week, then I'd roll. I captain Saka. Shamil. FPL MFZ. Hey Nim. Any love on Tony? Yeah, well, I mean, especially if the double's confirmed now. I think the problem we've got with Tony this week is that most of us have a decimated bench, unless you've flat out sold Son and Salah straight away, like you did those early moves. But then if one of those moves happened to be Bowen, which most people did do, you know, you potentially have Trent as well. There's a decimated bench here. And because we don't know whether Tony's going to get like ease straight back in, or whether he's just going to, like, after 2 hat tricks, they're just going to start him, hit the ground running, then it's tough with not very much of a bench. If you have bench cover, I really like it. I really like the Tony pick. But yeah, I couldn't say to you, because I haven't seen anything in the presses, that Tony's definitely starting this week. You can get him in your teams, go for it, have fun. So I haven't seen anything like that. So I just always with these sorts of things, like new players coming in, that sort of thing, I really do like to kind of wait and just make sure that they're in, they're settled, they're back, you know, we know they're like playing 90 minutes and then we can go for it. But he is going to be, if he's still with Brentford, he's going to be a mad pick for that double game week 25, isn't he? Like, to be honest, if he comes back this week and he cracks even just a goal this week, everyone's going to want to get him. The problem is, who do we lose? Isn't, you know, Watkins has ticked away most of the season. Solanke, again, has outperformed what most of us thought he would. Do we just bin off Haaland for the rest of the season and go Tony, Watkins and Solanke up top? But then Alvarez, if Haaland is out long term, would be City's main striker with a double game week. So it's tough. FPL's like tough at the moment. Like, just, yeah. Why keep Salah? Not saying it's wrong move, just confusing since he may get injured at AFCON. I mean, he could get injured. Any one of the players in my team could get injured this week. I think that's too much of a what if. Martin, is probably what I would say, is that you can't just assume that a player that goes off away to international duty will get injured. Like, if he got injured, it'd be an easy sell. You know, we'd know to sell. But the reason for keeping would be that we don't know how far they're going to go in the competition, right? And Liverpool want Salah back. I mean, they're competing for, you know, they're competing for the Premier League this season. They're up there, like they're amongst it. So they're going to want him back, like ASAP. So if, I know it's very unlikely, and all the models say, you know, they should go far into the competition, and that will be Salah's hope too. He wants to do well in that competition. He has stated that in presses. Then, you know, it's a lot of money on the bench, but there are a lot of very cheap players at the moment that are covering, you know, large players. My main reason for selling Salah rather than keeping him through this like whole section was to get Haaland back. And at the moment, we don't need to get Haaland back. He's still out. So all I'm doing at the moment, without knowing about Bowen or Trent, if I knew Bowen was fine, or I knew he was definitely out for a couple of weeks, and the same for Trent, maybe I'd be able to kind of think a little bit differently on the Salah situation. But at the moment, all I'd be doing really is strengthening my bench. And look at last week where I benched Palmer's points. I'm not saying you don't want a bench. You definitely want a bench, especially at the moment with all the rotation happening. If you're sat with 3 people on your bench that are all reds and you've got potential flags in your team, or that you've got any doubts about someone starting, then you have, like, I don't say you have to, but you'd probably be better off. But what I'm not saying that if I don't get rid of Salah this week that I won't sell him. What I'm saying is that I want the news on Trent and Bowen first, because I just feel like there may be another way back to Haaland other than Salah, meaning I can have Haaland and Salah in my team more easily when Salah returns, because Salah will just be in the team there anyway, and I'll have added Haaland. So, yeah. I still don't have Palmer. I don't think it's necessary to get him when he blank in 26. Palmer or Garnacho is my option, Nim. I think the thing is you don't want to miss out on points just because of a blank game week. I have done this in the past where I've happily gone, I'm not getting that player, they blank in a couple of game weeks, it'll only be a headache further down the line, blah, 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 blah. And then I've missed haul after haul after haul in that lead up. And I'm not saying Palmer's going to do that, but just bear that in mind. Like, I think probably ask yourself more so. I mean, look, he didn't do. I mean, he's not like chucking them in every week. Do you know what I mean? So, and then he's got Liverpool next. So, but he is 33% owned. So I'd ask yourself 2 questions. First of all, if Palmer does anything, that's going to hurt your rank massively. Are you okay with that? And second thing I would ask yourself is, do you feel Garnacho can match Palmer in the time to 25? Because that's what, still 3 game weeks away? 3 game weeks away? Yeah, Martin, Egypt have Morocco in the quarterfinals, so he could be back for game week 24. I mean, they're a very good team, Egypt, and it's all very, it's all very well saying, they're strong contenders, but how many times have we sat down and watched a World Cup, for instance, thinking, Brazil are going to win or Portugal are going to win or whatever, and then we've seen them knocked out fairly early. I think that's the beauty of football, right, is that it's unpredictable. We don't know what's going to happen. So my reason for not selling Salah this week, if I don't end up doing it, would be simply I'll get a bit more information. It may be that Salah does go further into the competition, but Sonny's back home much quicker than we thought, and then suddenly I've got a very easy way to Son. Whereas if I sell Salah, start distributing funds around, suddenly I'm scrabbling to even get Son back in. So it's just trying to think about all the variables. All the variables. Love the Cunha pick. Yeah, love that. Oh, nice. So Ivan from Texas is actually Ivan from Los Angeles. Dude, where's my car? Yeah, keep Tony, Shamil, if you have him. I mean, I assume yes, no, I'm not sure. Have you bought him in? I got Edison in Walker, 2 free transfers every week. No Haaland or Salah or Trent. Trent has been interesting to own. He absolutely flew out the gates for me initially and has done very poorly most of the way since. Max doesn't think Bowen will play against Sheffield United. Yeah, I don't think he'll play either. I'm just doing a bit of bench boost wankery there, I guess. Put Bowen in, hope for the best, and then if not, Gusto comes in, right? I just have to hope everyone else plays. I am not against selling Salah for Nacho this week, though, just to have slightly better bench cover. Just might be slightly annoying, I think. If I do that, I'm going to put Garnacho first on my bench, or to be first on my bench, whether that's, behind Trent or whatever. And then he'll play for Bowen. And then if Gusto does anything, I'll be like, oh, if I didn't use that transfer. But I guess it flips the other side as well, doesn't it? If Nacho did something, I'd be like, yeah. So I just feel like the 2 free transfers next game week could be really helpful because we got 2 game weeks to get through. 2 game weeks. 2 weeks with 1 game week spread over them to get through, plus players in international duty potentially coming back, etc. Information from them. Like 2 free transfers next game week could be really helpful. And I only have the 1 transfer because I wildcarded last week, so tough. Tough. Brainthread be Prem team of the season thus far. Saliba, Barkley should be in also. Front 3 at the moment of Cunha, Watkins, Solanke, 1 free transfer used. 1 earlier Salah to Saka. Salah will play game week 24. We don't know, buddy. We just don't know. It really just depends on whether he gets through the competition or not. Yeah, Barkley has looked good. Took a -4. Salah, Robinson, Semedo, Gross, Stupinan and Archer needed a striker for the 11 since have Haaland. Start Gabriel, Jesus or McTominay. My other bench players are Bowen and TAA. I think I saw that Jesus was in training again. Don't know whether or not they've said anything about him being back. Have we even had a presser from Arteta this week? Don't know that we have. There's been so many games that the pressers have kind of taken a bit of a back seat. He has some pain in his knee, so this is a 7, so he showed hopefully it's nothing big. Same. Currently being assessed, it says. I think if you're okay with a cameo, then I would play Jesus and have McTominay to come in if Jesus doesn't get any game time. It's probably where I'd lean. But yeah, just obviously only if you're okay with a cameo, because I've heard nothing to say that he's definitely starting. Yeah, Gordon. I think if you've got Gordon, he's a keep. And I think we can start to look at him in another game week or 2 for getting back. In fact, he could be somebody I could consider if I've got 2 free transfers next game week. Potentially another reason why to roll a transfer. Jermaine is bringing in Palmer for Bowen, even if Bowen plays. West Ham just not the same without. Yeah, that's also a great point, actually, Jermaine. That is a really good point. That is something that I haven't really considered, that I probably should take some consideration with Bowen. Maybe. They're not so great, are they, without Paqueta and Kudos? What are there? So he's got Sheffield, but he won't be there for that. And then Bournemouth. And then United. I wonder if it could just be time to get off of him. Get Nacho in for him. I feel like so many people have bought Gross this week that he's going to hurt me if he does anything. I'm just not feeling it. Hope Haaland playing game week 22. I hope so too, in a way, Shamil, because I feel like it makes my transfers easier because I'll just be able to get him back in and then I'll know where I am with everything else. Whereas at the moment, not knowing whether we need to get him back in or not is just really causing all kinds of problems. John, hey Nim, thoughts on Tony? We've chatted a little bit before earlier on the stream, buddy, but I really like him as a pick. We've had nothing to say that he's definitely starting this week. He did score a hat-trick for the under-21s, and he did score another hat-trick behind closed doors in a 7-a-side, I believe. So if it's not this week, it'll be next game week. He will also have a double game week if he's still with Brentford in game week 25. Just have some bench cover for this week if you're going for him this week, I think is probably the main thing to say about Tony, for sure. Makes sense to have 2 transfers. Will all FA Cup and League Cup fixtures and AFCON groups? Yeah, exactly that, Max, exactly that. Where are we at? We're now 15 away from 7,100 subscribers, guys. So you can help me out if you don't already. Please subscribe. Really, really means a lot to me. Be great to get to 7-1, wouldn't it? Be awesome. Most matches, Paqueta has the ball more than all other West Ham midfielders. Yeah, it's true. Makes sense to, yeah, said that. Man City 3-player game week 25. Which 3 though? Which 3? That's what we need to work out between now and game week 25. One reason I'm worried about Bowen is because Kudos and Paqueta out. Yeah. Eric has hit the wild card button. Get some hearts in the chat for Eric. I hope it goes better than my wild card did, buddy. I used mine last week. My wild card won last game week and it didn't go so well because it meant I ended up benching Palmer and there's a lot of points. Don't know if I bench Porro or Dalot. Probably out of the two, if it's Pedro Porro, I would bench Dalot. Just with Pedro taking Pedro Porro taking the corners, free kicks, all that sort of stuff. Just think he has more chance of attacking threat. So plus, who knows? New signings for Spurs. Anything could happen in that game. It could be 3-2. Could be. I mean, maybe I'm just hopeful that it'll be an interesting match. Is it even on the telly? Probably. I blimmin' hope it is. Let me see. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Wow. Yeah. After the Everton Villa match. Oh, so we'll get to see it. This will be at my nan's birthday surprise thing. Never mind. Probably for the best. I don't have Richarlison, so. Manoon, hi Nim. Are you an Arsenal fan and is that deterring from Saka captain? Yes, I am, for all my sins, an Arsenal fan. And is it deterring me away? I don't know whether being a fan is necessarily deterring me away. I think Arsenal's recent form is deterring me away. 'Cause I really am not sure whether it'll go. It could go one of 2 ways, right? So Arsenal can like say this is the time we're going to turn it around, and we go nuts against Palace. We have the same problem with Saka as we have with Foden in Arsenal team. That those points are likely to be shared around, right? Or we could just get more of the same, and that's where I worry more so, is the more of the same. Yeah, Bowen might not even play yet. He's just in the team like for bench wankery basically. Oh, thanks, Phoenix. I don't dislike Saka captaincy. I am undecided. I know you can see that I got Palmer captaincy here, but I am very much undecided. I think though, that I'm more towards Palmer or Foden for captaincy than I am for Saka, but see, I always choose my captaincy last minute. It has to be a moment where I'm just kind of sat there, not too long before the deadline. I always set a bus captain off, but then I just kind of sit there and I take a minute of my thoughts and I go, what's my gut telling me here? Who do I want to captain? And that's where I tend to go with my captaincy. John, if a choice between Alvarez or Foden, which one would you offload this week? Oof. Neither. Neither, John. Do you have to offload one of them? Really, John? Do you have to? Martin, you're gonna wish Salah into an injury here. The way you're going, it's gonna be fine, mate. It's gonna be fine. And look, if he gets injured in any way, he's an easy sell, right? He's an easy sell. If you haven't already. Kieran, hey Nim, hope you're well. Done Salah and Son to Foden and Richarlison. Should I start Gordon at home to City or Archer versus West Ham? I would probably play the better player, as bad as that sounds. Yeah, I think I'd go Gordon, Kieran. The like Archer has got like points so few and far between that to catch his hauls will be really, really tough. Plus, they've just signed a new guy, haven't they? A new striker. So what that means for Archer, I don't know. So I think I'd go Gordon. But as always, go with your gut. Lee Fisher, have you made any transfers? I've not made any transfers. I've sat on my hands. I didn't lose anything on Salah yet, thankfully, or maybe just 0.1, I'm not sure. I have 105.5 squad value and 109 in the bank, which puts me at 106.4 for my team value. Not made a transfer yet, and my transfer plans are either to sell Bowen or Salah to Garnacho or to roll. They're my only thoughts. I can go to Louise, and if I'm selling Bowen and keeping Salah on the bench, I could go a little bit more potentially for Bowen, but I still got to try and think about how I get Haaland back then. So if we were to go, say, for a... I don't really want to, but let's just go as high as him for now. 2.3 in the bank gives me... How much would I need to find for Haaland? Yeah, it's not going to get me 2 transfers for... So, yeah, so Garnacho is the price point, I think. Garnacho, Louise at the absolute tops. Phoenix. Martin with Salah voodoo dolls. I think he sold him now and he's just like, yeah, get injured. There's the rest of us like, come back to us, Mo. Come back to us safely. And then Arsenal fans are like, stay away, Mo, stay away. Although Liverpool would be doing great without Salah, to be fair. Ooh, Rubber Ducky, hey buddy. Long time no see. A -8 incoming. Need a defender. Already gone for Stupinan. Like it. Arte was our ace, but they'll miss a Nori badly covers the role of 2 players. Yeah. Brighton look a shoo-in to win this week, don't they? I can see why people are really loading in on Gross, but then how long? I'm not going to say they're not going to concede, mind you. Wolves have potential to score. I mean, Neto for a start. I'm not going to say that they're not going to score. So, yeah. But I do think Brighton will win. Absolutely do think Brighton will win. They usually do, that's the thing. They usually do. So we're 13 away now from 7,100. So if you can and you're watching and you don't subscribe, please do. That'll be really, really helpful. I'm not sure also if you saw my other channel, Nim Reacts, as well. That has gone absolutely crazy. I've set up a TikTok and an Instagram for that. So if you're interested in things outside of FPL reaction videos, kind of goggle boxy like, then just type Nim NYM Reacts into Insta, TikTok, and YouTube, and you'll be able to find me on there, which is kind of cool. Don't know where I'm at with that actually. Let's see, not too bad. Yeah, right. Where are we at? Any more questions before I love and leave you beautiful people? Where are we at? Static. Nim, if you see this, would you consider Archer in your team? I feel like Sheffield have bought a striker, right? And a lot of people are saying he's really good, so I don't know what that means for Archer. Does it help you upgrade elsewhere? Because if it does, and you're happy just to bury him on your bench, then yeah. I mean, if you're buying him to play him this week, I don't know. It's that sort of thing where I could say he doesn't go big this week, and it's the one time in Archer's career that because he's got somebody fighting for his spot that he goes absolutely bonkers, isn't it? It'd be just typical. Amina, we miss you. Much love to your family. Yeah. Should I, John, should I make Zinchenko to Doherty, 1 free transfer that is, or go with a Stupinan? I think both are great picks. Doherty's got Burnley this week. Are we still on the target Burnley? Are we still on target Burnley at Team Nimfam? Are we? Let me know. I really like Stupinan though. I mean, Brighton's next few. The thing with Doherty is you can get some clean sheets potentially along with the attacking threat, whereas with the Stupinan you're just like, it's only attacking threat. Like, it's that or nothing, basically. Primer, what are your thoughts on Fanue moving to Burnley on loan from Chelsea? Is he a viable option? I think he is a viable option, but it's a kind of Taylor situation, right? So he's somebody you'd want to, like my Gusto, you'd want to chuck on the bench and hope to only call upon now and again, unless he starts hitting it out of the park, and then you've got him in your team and you can just start playing him. But Burnley in defence at the moment, ooh, not so much, right? So I guess that's why they've gone and got Fofana. I'd like to see them tighten up a bit more before I went there. But when I'm looking at my second wild card, there's every potential that he might be a kind of cheap enabler. I thought it answered that one for you, Lewis. Further up, Walker or Porro. I think it depends on whether or not you're playing Edison. If you're playing Edison, then Porro. If you're not, play Walker. I think that's probably your best option, buddy. Oh, okay. I didn't know that, Manoon. If he's been playing left wing. But then he hasn't really been getting any more returns on the wing. But then now he might be able to set up some assists, I suppose, I guess. I think if you want the 4 point, like if you're going to use the money elsewhere, then I don't dislike Archer as a third option as long as he's getting game time. Yeah. You're welcome, Static. Yes, very true, John. Yeah, exactly. If you could use the cash elsewhere, then it'll be helpful. Right, you lovely people. I'm going to love and leave you there because I have to get ready for my nonna arriving. So I want you all to have a most fantastic game week. Let me know how you got on Twitter. It's just at FPL Nim, so you can find me pretty easily on there. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share this around. And I always do a kind of deadline / locked in stream on a Friday, usually after Holly and before Holly again, or before Harry. So somewhere around the 2:30, 2:45 mark is usually when I kind of slot in. But yeah, all is good. Oh, it's 12 away now. So thank you all so much. I mean, 12 subs and we are at 7.1k, and that will be amazing. So thank you, Nimfam. Love you all so much. Gonna put a heart in the chat for you guys. So thank you all so much for everything that you've done and for your subs today. It means a lot. I'm gonna go away and think about now whether I'm just gonna let Gusto come in for Bowen and hope that he has like the most amazing game week ever, or whether I'm going to sell Bowen or Salah for Garnacho and hope that Gusto does nothing on my bench. That's kind of my options this week. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go away and have to think about. Oh, my captain as well, because a lot of you had a lot of love for Saka, and I'm kind of wondering if maybe I should be considering Saka. Maybe my Arsenal goggles are making me a little bit more skeptical than they should be about captaining my boys. So yeah, I'll have another little think about it. And I as always, I always post my team on Twitter, on YouTube. So if you're subscribed to the channel and you've got the little notification bell ticked, it'll let you know when I post anything on my community tab as well. So you'll see what my team will be there. So I'll do that pretty much on the deadline, so you guys get to see what it was that I actually did. And I am hoping I'll be with you next Friday. I should be with you next Friday for another stream. However, videos, please just bear with me on that. I genuinely, with 2 massive birthdays in the family, Sunday and Tuesday, I will do my best for you guys to get something out. But if not, it may just be a couple of shorts. So whatever I can do, I will. But if not, I should be back next Thursday with an Ultimate Champion stream, all being well, and next Friday with another one of these. So have the most amazing weekend, this moved early deadline day, and I will catch you guys very soon. Take care. Until next time, Nympria out.